Hi Booktube, it's been a while, sorry about that. I've been trying to film. I did film 3 videos, but editing problems and YouTube problems means that I just couldn't upload them. So I decided to try the Booktube Newbie Tag instead. Hopefully this one works. So yeah, I got these questions off of the fandom wikia, and that site credited the tag to Brenda C, so you know, thank you for that. And let's start. 1. Why did you start this channel? 2 reasons. The first is the typical, I don't know that many people who are as into reading as I am, and 2, I have my book blog, as I've mentioned, and I write books. I try to write books, and I want to open a bookstore, and I thought that this would be a good way of giving a boost to all 3. So more of an ambition thing than just a hobby thing. But you know, it is also a hobby. 2. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? I'm not sure. I don't exactly fun and exciting. No, fun and unique. Sorry, those aren't really words I would use to describe myself. Really just my own opinions, which I hope aren't too dour. But yeah, that's that. 3. What are you most excited for about this new channel? I am really excited to talk about things more freely. I like I said in my introductory video, I can spend weeks, 2 weeks or so writing a review before I'm comfortable posting it, and even then, you know, I'm still picking out ways that I could improve it. So hopefully this is just something I can do a little bit more freestyle. I can get used to just kind of going off the cuff, and also I get to I can pick out bits of my favourite books and stuff. I don't have to just like focus on the thing as a whole. I can just pick out the favourite stuff to rave about. So I'm looking forward to that, yeah, definitely. Also just to get some other books that I love, just to give them a bit of a boost. Like my favourite series is The Grave Robbers Chronicles, and nobody talks about them except for me. Yeah, so things like that, things like the 13 Stones, I want to give them a bit of a boost because, you know, they deserve more than what they get, in my opinion. 4. Why do you love reading? Asking me easy questions. I just love the idea that you're a bit like Schrodinger's cat, you know, that you're sitting in your room or wherever you are, and also in this faraway world. I love that you can be these 2 things at once. I think it's magic. And, you know, for the escapism as well, just being swept up, just for the world to vanish as you lose yourself in the pages. I love that. And I love the way that a good story can just grip you, that it can just take over your life for this small amount of time. To just love something, you know. That's what I love about reading. 5. What book or series got you into reading? I don't remember. I don't remember. don't remember from the time that Mum was reading me books to the time that I started reading them on my own. But I can tell you that in primary school we got a book every day, you know, and we read a bit of it. And the ones that I remember when I was really, you know, were like Alex Rider and Artemis Fowl and Ink Hearts. So that was about primary 4-ish. So I would credit those ones. 6. What questions would you ask your favourite booktubers? Hang out with me, please. I'm not sure. I think well, there are five in my opinion types of reading, types of books. I think I would ask them what theirs are, because those generally yield, you know, a good conversation, and I'm not good at holding conversations, so anything that gets other people to do the talking is good in my books. And those questions would be, what books do you love? What books do you hate? What books do you love to hate? And what books do you hate to love? And question 7 is, what challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Editing. I've got an app now for that, and I can put videos together, but I can't trim them. I don't know how to do that. And I tried, and YouTube as well, because I tried uploading another video and it took 4 hours. It got to like 550 something MB out of 2 gigabytes, and then it started all over again, and I stayed up really late to I stayed up really late trying to get it to, and it just would not, and I'm really mad about that. So hopefully this one works. 8. When did you start reading? I don't really remember. Like I said, the time between being read to and reading on my own, I don't really remember, but I remember before we moved to Scotland, I remember a picture book about Anansi the spider, and I think it was both read to me and something that I read myself, so probably around 4 or 5-ish. Yeah, I think that's about the time. Yeah, I think that's about the time frame. 9. Where do you read? I read everywhere. I have books in every room, and I take them out in my bag with me when I can, and I have ebooks for when I can't. I read everywhere. Last question, 10. What kind of books do you like to read? I like fantasy best. I've never encountered a fantasy genre that I don't like. But I'm particularly liking, with whole like we need diverse books and stuff. I'm particularly enjoying Chinese genres, which I haven't really had much of a chance to get familiar with before. In particular, wuxia, xianxia, the tomb robbing genre, of course, which is amazing. Silk punk, anything gufeng, which is ancient style. Yeah, those ones. After that, I would say maybe sci-fi. Yeah, I like sci-fi. I think I prefer my sci-fi either kind of really mild on the science or hard science. I do quite like hard science books. And I would like to read a bit more horror books, but mainly I just read a little bit of everything. Fiction, contemporaries, non-fiction, history books. Don't really like memoirs and biographies, but I wouldn't not read them, it's just, I don't really like literature or classics either, but I've got some, and I wouldn't discount them entirely. So yeah, I like reading a little bit of everything. Yeah, so that was my Booktube Newbie Tag video, and I hope that was interesting. Thank you if you reached the end of my rambling, and bye.